Most guys fail their nutrition goals before they even take a bite of food. They walk into the store with no plan, no structure, no idea what to get, so you end up grabbing a bunch of random stuff that you never end up cooking, and then you fall back on snacks and takeout. Today I'm going to show you how to shop like an athlete. We're going to talk about what to buy, how much to buy, why all of it actually matters, and we're going to turn these meals into simple meals that'll help you build muscle, lose weight, and fuel your performance. So if you're a dad that's serious about looking the part, fueling your performance better, losing weight, and building muscle, you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe, because this video series about meal prepping and nutrition is going to be absolutely epic. Let's head over to the protein section. All right, so first up, and the most important spot, this place you should go straight to, is protein, and most guys don't eat enough of it. And if you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to lose fat, this is where we need to have our foundation be so that you can stay satisfied and not overeat at night. All right, so protein is more than just muscle food. It's literally the thing that's going to help you run better and function better all day long. It helps your muscles recover, obviously, but it keeps your metabolism high, and it's going to keep you full so later on in the day you don't end up overeating and binge eat at night. If you've ever worked out hard and you didn't see the results, it's probably because you were low on protein. The goal is simple, guys. You want to be able to have 1 gram of protein per desired goal body weight. So if you weigh 180 pounds, we're looking to get 100 grams of protein. And I'm going to show you how to make it happen. Okay, so here's something that most guys don't notice. So if we look at two different things, we got here 92.8, talk about lean, versus 85.15. Now, when you flip this over, both of these have the exact same amount of ounces. They're both 1 pound. The one that's 85.15 has over 80 calories more compared to this, and they both have the same amount of protein. So if you're trying to bulk up, you're trying to get bigger, which most of you aren't, you're gonna get one that has more fat. But if you're trying to cut down and lose fat, get a leaner option, you're gonna save 80 calories. So here we got ground turkey and we got chicken thighs. Ground turkey is a great alternative because it's a little bit less expensive. You still get a good source of high protein and not as much fat. It's awesome if you just wanna make some tacos or throw it into some type of bowl or a stir fry. Chicken thighs are a little bit fattier, but they taste better. So flavor is important to you. You can go with this, but you just have to monitor your portion sizes. So if you're trying to hit higher protein and you want less caloric intake, regardless, whichever one you choose, these are both great options. This is a little bit more affordable. So now we're gonna head over to the fish department, and salmon is great to reduce inflammation. It's gonna help improve your recovery, and it also helps you support brain function. And salmon is great if you're training hard and you wanna focus on recovery because of the inflammation benefits, or if you just wanna feel sharper. And one thing, if you're noticing, right now we're starting to get different sources of protein. We don't wanna just have the same thing every time. What we wanna start doing is building our meals around protein as our main source, and then you can have variety throughout that. I would like to get 1 pound of the Atlantic salmon, please. Thank you, ma'am. So eggs are one of the best whole foods to eat on the planet. With 6 grams of protein per egg, they're super versatile and they're easy to prep. And if you want more protein without all the fat, you can mix 1 to 2 eggs with egg whites. That way you get the nutrition from the yolk, but you get the volume from the egg whites. That's what I do every day for breakfast. Heading to the tuna next. Tuna is packed with protein. 30 grams, hardly any calories. Let's go get some. We have found the tuna. There it is. Okay, so we've made it to the famous tuna section. Zero prep, high protein. It's a lifesaver if you don't have a lot of time. Now, a couple of different things to notice. Albacore with olive oil, with water, 30 grams of protein, hardly any calories. This puppy's got 170, 130, high protein, low calories. Now, you've probably heard about higher mercury and how that can be a problem. Albacore has a higher mercury. It's because the fish lives for a little bit longer. But the point of this is it's supposed to be when you're running low on time. It's not gonna be like you're slamming tuna sandwiches every day. When I teach you how to do this properly, you're gonna have these other meals to be able to rotate. So don't overthink it. Get the one that's just with water. You don't need the olive oil. Get you a couple cans for the week and let's go. And for under $2, it's solid. And you can make it taste good. You could add mayonnaise, you could add pickles, you could add salt and pepper. Some people like to put it into Greek yogurt. There's ways to make it taste good, and it's an awesome lifesaver when you don't have a lot of time. And Greek yogurt is one of the easiest way if you want to sneak in more protein and you don't want to cook. And make sure you get one that is either plain or flip it over and make sure it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it. What we're looking for is to have at least 15 grams of protein in it. So you could add some berries to it, a scoop of collagen, you could put honey in it, and now it's a sweet, filling snack. So something to take note of is I actually don't consume any dairy. However, the problem with traditional yogurt or even dairy-free yogurt, for whatever reason, it's got no protein. So with the exception of Greek yogurt, I do actually have dairy into my nutrition so that I can get the benefits of the high protein. So now that we have our protein covered, we've already won half the battle. We're gonna build every meal this week around these proteins, that way you always have a plan. Now let's head over to the veggies so I can teach you how to have your meals colorful, high in nutrients, have that volume help to keep you full without having to spend hours chopping salad. All right, so now that we've locked in proteins, we're gonna head over to the vegetable section, which is what, guys, most people ignore, but actually is gonna play a key component into your fat loss, but plays an essential role in your fat loss, your digestion, and your energy. And we're gonna teach you how to make vegetables not the boring part of your meal. Instead, we're gonna use them as tools to make your meals more filling and also be enriched with a nice crunch. And honestly, better tasting too. So now is where we're gonna start talking about adding color, volume, and fiber, all things that help improve your digestion. Like for example, do you ever finish a meal that's like 600 calories and you still feel like you're hungry? It's because there's a lack of fiber, and fiber keeps you satiated along with protein to keep you full for longer. And veggies are gonna send that signal to your brain that makes you say I'm full because of the amount of volume that it. So when we couple that with protein, you're already starting to get more of a full stomach and you won't eat as much. It's also gonna keep your blood sugar regulated and steady. So if your goal is to lose fat, veggies are gonna help you keep you full for longer while not consuming as many calories. All right, so now we got bell peppers and we got onions, and depending on your budget and depending on how much time you have available, time is of the essence when we're doing meal prepping. And you got pre-cut onions. And these are my go-to to just throw into different meals like stir fry or burger bowls. They're gonna add crunch, they're gonna give you some flavor and some color in your meals, and they're gonna cook up fast. So if you're short on time, just get the pre-cut meals. And if you're on a budget, just cut them yourself. Same concept here, spinach versus mixed greens. I'll be completely honest with you, it's a little bit more cost effective to chop it yourself, but when we're talking about speed and time and trying to do all this together, I just grabbed the prepackaged one. Don't overthink it, just throw it into your meals and there you have it. Iron, potassium, and fiber to keep you full. And when we're talking about broccoli, let's be real, nobody's cutting up broccoli. So just get the prepackaged one. Super, super high fiber, high volume, and very versatile. Throw it into any of your meals and boom. You can roast it, steam it, air fry it. It's gonna keep you full and add a lot of substance to your plate. I like it especially with the salmon and the beef bowls because it adds a little bit of different texture to the meal. So squash and zucchini are easy to prep and gonna be super easy to add into our meals. And same concept, we could throw these into our meals, we could air fry it, we could stir fry it. Just throw them into the meals, chop them up, it's gonna be great for more color. Toss it in with olive oil, seasoning, put it into our meal, it's gonna add some good color so we can stay balanced. So when we're building out a meal, the first thing we do is focus on protein. We're gonna head over and grab our carbs next, and then we load it up with our vegetables so we can get colorful, nutrient-dense foods. And that's why I don't give out meal plans, because if you can learn how to build a plate, you can keep doing this for life and it'll stick. Now let's talk about carbs. This is what most guys either completely avoid or they go way overboard on. Truth is, carbs aren't the enemy, they're fuel to your workouts. The key is knowing when to eat them and why it matters. If you're lifting, you're running, or you're doing anything intense, this is what's gonna help keep your performance high so that you can actually have solid workouts and keep your recovery sharp. And before we get into the different choices, I want you to understand that carbs replenish glycogen. And glycogen is what is stored for your energy, and that's stored in your muscle and in your liver. And whenever you're training really intense, most of the time you're using carbohydrates as your primary source of fuel, so you want to be able to refill that after your workout. And if you don't, you're going to feel flat, you're going to be under-recovered, and you're not going to have any energy. You kind of want to think about like carbs is your gas tank. Okay, so jasmine rice and potatoes are gonna fill you up fast whenever you need it. But oats and brown rice is gonna keep you full and have that energy last for longer. Let's talk about why. So first off, again, when it comes to time, you can get jasmine rice, you can cook it yourself, or you can get the prepackaged meals. I personally do this because I'm trying to save time. And when you start to think, hey, it costs a little bit more, but you gotta think about when you are shopping and you are going to somewhere fast food, the stress levels of having to drive to the drive-thru, have to order something, it's actually worth a little bit more, in my opinion, to just have a meal prepared, simplify the process, reduce your time to avoid all those other potential obstacles. And the jasmine rice it's light, it's fluffy, it's easy to digest, and that's what you want to have after your workout because it's craving that quick energy. And when it comes to brown rice, I actually get the one that has quinoa in it so I can have a little bit more protein. But brown rice is going to keep you full for longer because it has more fiber in it. So if you know you're going to be working out later in the day or you've got a super busy day, this is going to help regulate your blood sugar a lot better to keep you full for longer. So jasmine rice, quick energy, brown rice, long sustained energy. So sweet potatoes are gonna be slightly lower on glycemic index. They digest slower, they give you more vitamin A, and they're gonna keep you full for longer. And white potatoes are just as good. They give you more potassium than a banana actually, and they're a little bit more budget friendly. So the same concept of the rice. Sweet potatoes are gonna be great for midday when you need to have energy for longer to avoid any blood sugar crashes. White potato is gonna be good for post-workout to replenish your sugar levels right away. And I want you to remember this. Most guys don't fail because of whether it's white rice or potatoes. They end up failing because they skip meals, they don't prioritize protein, and they end up grabbing snacks, and then you end up overeating later. So oats are absolute money for breakfast or for smoothies because they're a slow digesting carb, just like what we talked about with brown rice and the sweet potatoes. It's got a ton of fiber, it's gonna keep you full, and it's gonna stabilize your blood sugar for longer. You can throw these into a smoothie, which is what I personally do, or we're gonna talk about it too, how you can make overnight oats for a quick grab and go protein snack. And your body needs carbs so you can train hard, you can recover properly, and you can keep your hormones in check. And if you skip carbs, you're gonna feel froggy, you're gonna feel tired, and you're gonna feel underfed. And like we talked about, the key is knowing when to have fast digesting carbs and ones that are gonna give you slower energy. And the key is knowing when to have fast versus slow carbs. That's how we stay lean, we keep the muscles full, keep our energy high, and never feel like we're starving ourselves. So we need to build our meals like this. We have our protein source, we have our carbohydrate, and then we fill it with colorful veggies. And next, we're heading over to the snack aisle. This is where most guys fall off. The sauces, the temptations at the checkout line. Let's head over to it and break it down. And this is the aisle that ruins most people's plans. Not because they're bad, but because they've replaced most people's real food. We got all the chips, we got all the bars, we got all the sugary stuff that sneak in when you're not prepared. So let's walk through it. Let's talk about what to grab instead. All right, so let's talk about the protein bars, and I'm just gonna pick a very popular one, Cliff Bar. And it doesn't matter if it's a Cliff Bar, any type of bar, the first thing I want you to check to see is, does it have 10 grams of protein? And if it has more than 12 grams of sugar, this has 11 grams of protein, check. 17 grams of sugar, this isn't a protein bar, it's a candy bar. Now I know what you're thinking. We just got done talking about sugar and having high carbohydrates after a post-workout. And that is what, I'm not targeting Cliff Bar by any means. But most of you guys aren't having a Cliff Bar after your workout. You're using it throughout your workday trying to get a quick snack. It's a candy bar, not a protein bar. Now you've noticed that we've built out meals that are gonna be more satiating throughout your day. However, when you're in a bind and you do need to grab something, remember that principle, higher protein, less sugar. The one that I personally go for is RX Bar because there's hardly anything in it. We got 3 egg whites, 14 peanuts, 2 dates, and the thing that you need to get in the habit of is flipping the ingredients over, flipping the packet over, looking at it. 12 grams of protein, includes 0 added sugars, but it has total of 17 grams of sugar. Yikes! But it's from dates, I'll take that. And I just picked up both of them just to compare. Again, not targeting Cliff Bar by any means, but 17 grams of sugar from dates, 0 added sugars, 17 grams of sugar, 16 grams from added sugar. It's a candy bar. All right, so we're back into the yogurt aisle. We already talked about how Greek yogurt is what you want to be getting, but if you're looking at flavored yogurt, it has more sugar than most desserts. I know a popular one, not targeting brands again, but Chobani. If I flip this bad boy over and find out how much sugar is in here, we got 9 grams of protein. What's the rule? We want to have 10 grams of protein and less sugar. This 9 grams of protein doesn't meet the requirement. 14 grams of added sugar, 17 grams total, 14 added. And if you're still watching the video up until this point and you're not an active subscriber, click the subscribe button. This series is gonna be absolutely epic and it's gonna be a ton of value for you. Now, I will be completely honest. Salt and vinegar chips, my kryptonite. It doesn't matter if it's the party size, the family size, I will slay it all in one sitting because the thing about chips is they're easy to overeat and they're not filling. So the best practice is out of sight, out of mind. Keep it out of your house. When we talk about which snacks are gonna be, when we talk about which snacks you can have, then, well, let's focus on different, better, small choices. Greek yogurt versus a high sugary yogurt. Cottage cheese is another one that's great protein, but I personally just don't like it. It's great at night for a lot of people when they feel like they're craving something because it gives them some satiation and they feel full. Your tuna packets with some pickles or some mayonnaise or whatever the heck you want to do with it is gonna be a great grab and go. It's gonna give you a little bit of protein. If you need some carb sustenance, you can put it on a sandwich and there's a great snack. Hard-boiled eggs, quick, easy. I'm gonna show you how to cook that tomorrow. And instead of the trail mix, if you like trail mix, let's look at like raw almonds or cashews, but you gotta be careful here. You can't get the full bulk version because these are high in fat, which is good for you, but we just wanna have small portions of it. And the more you focus on whole foods like we've talked about today with protein, carbs, and vegetables, you're gonna feel a lot more full, so the cravings are gonna be less when it comes to all the sugary stuff that end up happening at night, and then you end up overeating. And simply put, most guys end up overeating all of this stuff because you skip breakfast, you have a light lunch, and you haven't fed yourself with protein, volume, and fiber like we talked about earlier. So when it comes to nighttime, you're trying to get as much down because you haven't eaten all day and you're starving, and then that leads to making poor choices and those cravings. And when it comes to sauces and spices, don't overthink it. If your food tastes good, you actually will stick to the plan. But one of the things you do need to be mindful of is just take a look at the ingredients, make sure it doesn't have too much fat, but overall choose things that's important to you that make it taste good. And most guys fail with their nutrition because whenever they walk into the store, they never have a plan. Now today, you know which foods to choose, why they actually matter, and we're not gonna do what most people do, which is buy all the food. They're excited, they get the food, and the next step, it just sits into the fridge, which is why in the very next video, we're gonna do a meal prep together. I'm gonna show you how we can cook all this together, simplify everything, and prepare your meals for the week. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, follow along with this series, because I'm teaching you how to eat like a high performer without overthinking it. Let's build the momentum. $87.